I think Sandbox has already been up huge, but the metaverse, and as relates to NFTs, the guy who bought Beeple for 69 million, he was saying on an interview he believes that the NFT space is going to tower over all the other spaces combined in crypto. That includes DeFi, that includes DEXs, all of that. I agree with that because NFTs revolutionize private ownership. They are also decentralized. They are away from government control for the most part. I mean, unless you design it in a way that is DeFi related, yeah, then of course it becomes a security and then it has to be regulated. But for the most part, no one can really control the trading of NFTs and also the groups that form around them.
Right.
And I think they're going to be, well, they're already, we're only in the first inning of NFTs right now, and we're going to get to a point where I think it's going to become like Discord channels. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of Discord channels are, but people can be their avatar. They can be their alter ego. They can role play. They can be a part of the metaverse through Discord. But Discord, I think, will then eventually transform into a form of NFTs and metaversal platforms that people then can live their virtual life in full, because people are already doing that.
I'm curious to ask you about that, Chris, because a funny point you brought up earlier and stuff is about that $1 million price target for Bitcoin. And it sounds, back in 2018, I remember from the presentation you were talking about that really high level. Back then we would have been seen as crazy, and as you mentioned, we might just be off by a factor of one or two multiples. From basically that range of around somewhere around 200, 200,000 by this cycle, 250K, whatever the level might be. Either way, no matter where Bitcoin's going, it's always interesting to think about the next trend that could come up. And you were bringing up this topic of NFTs in the metaverse. I think this has been, as it is, one of the newer trends in the crypto space. It's not so much a controversial one, but one where you get people who are on either end of the spectrum who really feel like, this topic that's been around since the 90s, really, this idea of a virtual space where we can communicate, we can socialize, free ideas can be exchanged. You can really do anything and be anything in the metaverse, similar to Ready Player One, all the kind of movies that people use as analogies.